And Sean, boy, you said some places hit 80 today?
Yeah, a couple of 80s out there. In fact, Ojai hit 86, if you can believe that. That is really warm. And boy, if that is not an indicator of a very dry and we get that weather sometimes. We do get it in fall, but we're almost knocking on the door of winter. Actually, tomorrow is official start. So we really want to start to see some rain as we see another beautiful night across Santa Barbara. It's a gorgeous shot, and temperature not that bad. Humidity, look how bone dry. It still just stays right there. It has been such a dry fall, and it's going to likely stay that way. Gaviota, you just bumped up a couple of degrees, so little north wind is kicking into gear. Look at the difference between, say, Lompoc, Gaviota, and as well even Santa Ynez, and that's all because of that right there. Just a little turn in that wind out of the northwest in Lompoc, but then it becomes a little more northerly in Gaviota, and you get the microclimate, and it also dries you out. So we've had critical fire weather. Interestingly enough, to see the dynamic between the coastal areas with the offshore flow being so dry, then you go inland into areas, if this were summertime, it'd be flipped the other way. The inland areas are actually holding on to some moisture at the lower levels, so they actually have a chance for some tule fog or ground fog later tonight. And as far as that big, gigantic area of high pressure, still going to give us another mild day tomorrow, keeping all the moisture to our north. But then this will start to change. That high pressure, you can see the rotation clockwise right there, keeping everything well to the north of us, and anything that does get through just gets kind of squeezed out, and then we get the wind behind it. So here is the hope. Out in the ocean, we do have an area, a trough, a dip in the jet stream, and it's a pretty vigorous low pressure area that will hopefully break down the high in about 5 to 8 days and then bring in some rain. There's a lot of model variability, and there's even some quirks that'll come, and I'll show you this on the satellite. There's our hope out there. That's what we're going to watch close. But now when we get in tight, we'll expect to see a little bit more of the offshore flow the next couple of days. And what's interesting, though, is that there is a slight chance of a little low coming up out of the southwest by about the middle of the week. And if that is the case, we might actually see a sprinkle or two over the top of an offshore flow. That does happen once in a great while. It's not a big chance, but there is a little low right there we have to keep an eye on over the next several days. So here comes the futurecast. Here they go. Most of the energy staying well to our north and out in the ocean. As we kind of bounce in, bounce back, there is some cloudiness, though, that starts to come up. And you might even see a little radar echo return right there. The computer says it's going to keep it offshore, but there always is that slight chance out of the southwest that something could show up. So we'll watch both the middle of the week for maybe a sprinkle or two, and then by the end of the week, we're really having some big hope. Luckily, wind does not go above advisory level. At least that's what we're seeing, but it will stay offshore, especially for the late nights and early mornings, which is typical during winter anyways, but a little bit of a Santa Ana push behind it. There are your temperatures. On Monday, we expect to see a little more of a sea breeze, so we'll have the offshore flow, but it should die out a little earlier, and that means the ocean will kick back into gear and push in some more cooler air probably a little bit earlier, so we don't expect to see as many widespread mid and upper 70s as well as those 80s that we saw today. Might squeak another one in, but probably not as much widespread. Breezy, sunny, and beautiful for the south coast. Same story as you head a little farther to the north. I am going to go ahead and say yesterday Santa Maria was forecast to go into the low 80s on this computer, and it didn't happen, and I'm glad that I said it would probably stay in the mid 70s. The computer and I had to take a draw on that. It came back at 78 as the official high, so it was interesting to see how the computer saw the warmth in some areas, and some areas it did not. 82 expected tomorrow in Ojai, Santa Paula around 80, and as you head out toward the beaches for all areas, 60s and 70s. That light offshore wind should fade out once we get to the afternoon. West-northwest swell is going to kind of die out a little bit the next day or two, but then there's a south coming, a southwest and a northwest that should show up around Christmas, and it could actually be pretty good with a light offshore wind. And there's your Santa Barbara forecast going through the holiday. We don't expect to see any rain, but there is that little wrinkle that shows up around Wednesday, Thursday, and that's out of the southwest. That's our backdoor, which really drives our computers nuts. So we'll keep a very close eye on that. And then beyond that, I put the showers possibly as early as next Sunday. It looks like the computers also, our forecast models are looking at possibilities of it showing up as early as Sunday, as late as Monday, and it looks like we should at least get some rain. One of the models is actually throwing in a lot. The other one is saying maybe not too much. But Tracy, at least we are talking about some rain in the extended forecast.
You've got Rudolph on there. All right, thank you. Some people decorate their homes, others their boats. We will show you the lights in a local harbor coming up. And in sports, the Los Angeles Rams try to avoid an embarrassing loss to the woeful New York Jets. Mike Clan has highlights next.